Welcome back to Enchanted Learning. Sribana Sarkare. Enchanted School Appileke Ella Mattukku Swagatham. How was your vacation, student? Have you enjoyed it? Now we are entering a new academic year, and now we are in class 9. So we are going to study new facts and topics. That is, those facts and topics are very interesting. And today we are moving to the first chapter. That is, what is the life process? What is life? That is, all living organisms are considered to be living. Why? Because they all have life. That life means those activities which are taking place inside the body of a living organism. It might be digestion, it might be respiration, it might be circulatory system, etc. etc. So now let's look into what are the processes taking place inside our body for the existence of life. Shall we move to the chapter? So children, let's move to the topic. The textbook is written in very short, that is, the scientists had made great efforts for what? To discover an artificial living organism. And as a result of the teamwork of researchers at Cambridge, they artificially created a E. coli bacteria. That E. coli bacteria is mainly, you can find that E. coli bacteria in the intestine as well as in soil. And that lives in the intestine and soil, that is naturally occurring one. That was artificially prepared by a group of researchers. And that was the first effort that was taken by the scientist. And what was the difference in that naturally occurring bacteria as well as artificially created bacteria? The main difference is that both of them grow as well as reproduce. But the main difference is that the growth and reproduction in the artificially created bacteria is little more slow. That is, these processes are also taking place in this artificial bacteria, growth, reproduction, etc. Even then, they are in a slow pace. It is in a slow manner. It takes a little bit more time as compared to the naturally occurring E. coli bacteria. Have you understood? Now, moving to the topic. Here, listen here. Movement, response, respiration, growth, reproduction, etc. are signs of life. What you can recollect from this? That is, if you are considering an organism, how can you consider it to be that this organism is having life? That means if the particular organism is moving, if it is responding to some other stimulus, that means if you are touching or something, if it is responding to that particular touch, if it respires, if it grows, if it reproduces, then we can see, we can recollect, we can consider that living organism has life. So these are the signs of life. Have you understood? So which are the signs of life? Movement, a response, a respiration, growth as well as reproduction are considered to be the signs of life. Now, we have already studied in early small classes, that is, cell is a structural and function unit of life. So, cell is a basic structural and function unit of life. And that means all the chemical reactions for the existence of life mainly occurs in the particular cell. All chemical reactions taking place for the existence of life takes place within the cell. That is why cell is considered a basic structural and function unit of life. Have you understood? These topics we have already studied in the early classes. Now, moving to the next point. What is described in this particular chapter? That is, the cell structure as well as cell functions are that for the cell structure as well as cell function, certain molecules are required. You know the fact that cell is a basic structure and function unit of life, and all the chemical reactions for the existence of life occurs within the cell. Then you have to also recollect the point, the molecules are required for particular cell structure and cell function. And these molecules, how are they formed? They are formed by various combinations of different elements with carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus and calcium. Understood? So that cell, within the cell chemical reactions taking place, and that chemical reactions are taking place for the existence of life. So this cell, that the cell structure as well as cell function requires certain molecules. And these molecules, how are these molecules formed? The cell structure consists of molecules, and the cell function is also requiring, is having certain. Also, it also requires certain molecules. Cell structure as a cell function requires certain molecules. How are these molecules formed? These molecules are formed with the various combinations of certain elements like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, as well as calcium. Now, moving to the next one, carbohydrate. Proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids are the basic building blocks of life. We have understood that certain molecules are required for the cell structure and cell function. No? Which are the molecules? That is, those molecules are produced as a result of the combinations of certain elements. So, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, carbohydrate. It is formed of carbon, hydrogen, example glucose. Carbohydrate is example glucose. Glucose is the body says C6H12O6. So that is the combination of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Then proteins. Proteins are formed of amino acids. Then lipids, nucleic acids. These are the basic building blocks of life. And they are known as biomolecules. We have studied the fact that molecules are required for the cell structure as a cell function. And these molecules are formed by certain chemical combinations of certain elements like calcium, hydrogen, carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, calcium, etc. And likewise, the basic building blocks of life are called. Which are the basic building blocks of life? Carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids. And they are considered as the biomolecules of life. So, in this chapter, we are studying about biomolecules. Have you understood the term biomolecules? Those molecules which are required for the existence of life are known as biomolecules. Understood? So, next one. Here are certain examples for the particular biomolecules. First one is biomolecule. First one, biomolecule carbohydrates. So carbohydrates, what are the examples of carbohydrates? So now biomolecules. What are known as biomolecules? Those building blocks of life, that is carbohydrate, protein, lipids and nucleic acids are the basic building blocks of life, and they are considered to be the biomolecules. Now we can study each and every example of these biomolecules. First one is carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is a biomolecule, that is, it is required for the existence of life. And what are the examples of carbohydrate? We have studied glucose, no? Glucose, fructose, sucrose, starch and cellulose are the examples of carbohydrates. Which are they? Glucose, fructose, sucrose, starch and cellulose. So these are the examples of carbohydrates. Now the point, biomolecules means those molecules which are required or very essential for the existence of life. You understood what is biomolecule? And of the biomolecules, first one you are going to study about carbohydrate, and this carbohydrate consists of the examples of carbohydrates are glucose, fructose, sucrose, starch and cellulose. Now, next one, that is proteins. Proteins are also considered as building blocks of life. And these proteins, what are the examples of proteins? That means the proteins are formed of amino acids. These proteins are formed of amino acids. Then you have to understand the examples of proteins are hormones, enzymes, as well as antibodies. So, what are the examples of proteins? Enzymes, hormones and antibodies. Now, next one is lipids. So, listen children, what are the examples of proteins? You know, the proteins are the formed of amino acids, no? Here, carbohydrates examples are glucose, fructose, sucrose, starch, cellulose, etc. These carbohydrates are formed of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. No, proteins are made up of amino acids. And what are the examples of proteins? It is enzymes, hormones, as well as antibodies are considered as proteins. Then lipids. What about lipids? They are also the building blocks of life. So for existence of life, lipids are also very essential. They are also considered as biomolecules, and the examples of lipids are fats and oils. Which are the examples of lipids? Fats and oils. Then nucleic acids. Nucleic acids are also the building blocks of life. Then nucleic acids, that means example is DNA and RNA. Then what are the examples of nucleic acids? DNA and RNA. This DNA as well as RNA are nucleic acids. So here you have to recollect the term biomolecules. What are biomolecules? Those building blocks of life, that is carbohydrates, proteins, lipids and nucleic acids are known as biomolecules, because these molecules, that is cell means it's a basic structure and function of life. For the cell structure as a cell function, certain molecules are required, and these molecules are required or essential for the existence of life. So those molecules are considered as biomolecules, it means because they are essential for the existence of life. And what are the examples of biomolecules? It is carbohydrates. In the top, in the heading carbohydrate, the examples below, this is glucose, fructose, sucrose, starch, as well as cellulose. They are all carbohydrates. Then proteins, that is another type of biomolecules. The examples of proteins are enzymes, hormones, and antibodies. Next one, lipids. Lipids are also biomolecules. Examples of lipids are fats and oils. Now, nucleic acids. Nucleic acids are also biomolecules. Examples of nucleic acids are DNA and RNA. Now moving to the next one. Is it clear for you? Next one, you have studied these biomolecules are very essential for the existence of life. Then all life signs are manifested by the actions of biomolecules and many other chemical factors inside the cell. We have studied that within the cell, certain chemical reactions are occurring, and these chemical reactions are very essential for the existence of life. So here, these biomolecules, these actions of biomolecules are taking place within the cell. So life signs are manifested by the actions of biomolecules and many other chemical factors inside the cell. So, in addition to the biomolecules, there are certain chemical factors also present within the cell. And these chemical factors are also very essential for the existence of life. And so, we have to understand the term all chemical reactions together taking place within an organism. So, if you are considering a single cell, a particular life process is taking place, as well as considering the whole body. In our body is composed of a number of cells, So the chemical reactions are taking place in each and every cell. So all those chemical reactions taking place within an organism are called metabolism. What do you mean metabolism? All the chemical reactions taking place within the body of an organism is known as metabolism. That is a new term we are going to study. So metabolism means all the chemical reactions together taking place in the body of an organism are known as metabolism. So all chemical reactions taking place in the body of an organism or taking place in an organism is known as metabolism. And this metabolism can be divided into two. That is anabolism and catabolism. What is anabolism and what is catabolism? Let's look it. So children, what is metabolism? All the chemical reactions taking place in the body of an organism. All the chemical reactions taking place in an organism is known as metabolism. So these chemical reactions are taking place within the cell. And those chemical reactions, all those chemical reactions taking place in organism is termed as metabolism. It can be classified into two, that is anabolism and catabolism. What is anabolism? This anabolism means combination of molecules. What is anabolism? It means combination of molecules. That is, here simple molecules combine together to form complex molecules. So anabolism means combination molecules, that is simple molecules combine to form complex molecules, that is anabolism. Here, that's plants synthesize glucose. For example, you can consider those plants. How are they preparing food? They prepare food by means of photosynthesis, no? And what is the process taking place with the photosynthesis? That is, the plants synthesize glucose, no? This glucose is a complex molecule. It is prepared by using carbon dioxide and water. So, no, the plants prepare food by means of photosynthesis, and here for this photosynthesis, what are they required? Sunlight is required. Then in addition to sunlight, the plants also requires carbon dioxide, water, and as well as the plants that it also should have chlorophyll within the leaves. You have also studied those things in the small classes. So here for photosynthesis, for preparation of food, or that means for the preparation of glucose, the plants require carbon dioxide as well as water. And here glucose is a complex molecule. It is prepared by the combination of simple molecules like carbon dioxide and water. So that is the process, that is anabolism. That is meant with anabolism. That is an example for anabolism. Have you understood? So metabolism means all the chemical reactions taking place within an organism, and that can be of two, that is anabolism as well as catabolism. In anabolism, that is molecules are combined, that is simple molecules are combined together to form complex molecules. For example, you can consider photosynthesis. These plants prepare food. That means glucose is prepared with plant with the help of carbon dioxide and water. So consider this glucose. It is a complex molecule. Glucose is a carbohydrate. That means it contains carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So this is a complex molecule, and this complex molecule is formed with the help of carbon dioxide and water. So those carbon dioxide and water are simple molecules. They combine together to form the complex molecule glucose. Is it clear for you? Next one, what is catabolism? Catabolism means the breakdown of molecules. Here, complex molecules are break down into simpler ones. That is what is occurring in catabolism. So catabolism means complex molecules are broken down to simple molecules. For example, the breaking down of proteins. So proteins are breaking down. That means proteins break down to form amino acids. Here, proteins break down to form amino acids. That is, proteins are formed of amino acids. In catabolism, that process, these proteins are breaking down into that basic unit, that is amino acids. So amino acids are combined to form proteins. That is, in case of metabolism, that means in case of anabolism. In case of catabolism, these proteins are breaking down into amino acids. That is, complex molecules are breaking down into simpler ones. In which case, in case of catabolism. That is what's mentioned in catabolism. Is it clear for you? So, what is the difference between catabolism and anabolism? See here, a chart is given in the particular chapter. Let's look into that. So, listen here, in the particular chart, metabolism, that means all chemical reactions taking place within an organism, can be divided into anabolism and catabolism. And here anabolism. For example, formation of glucose, that is combination of simple molecules to form the complex molecule glucose. Here plants synthesize glucose, which is a complex molecule, by using carbon dioxide and water, which are simple molecules. Next one, catabolism. We are breaking down of proteins. That means here what is occurring? That is, complex molecules are broken down into simpler molecules. That is, here proteins are broken down into amino acids. So proteins breaks down into amino acids. That is the difference between anabolism and catabolism. Is it clear for you? So that's all for today. So is it clear for you? If it's useful, please subscribe this channel. We shall meet in the next class. Till then, bye from me. Thank you.